The morning sun rose slowly over the quiet city of New Haven, painting the streets in a soft orange light. People were going about their daily routines, children playing in parks, cars moving slowly on busy roads, and birds singing high above. No one noticed the strange hum that began to fill the sky. At first, it was soft, almost like the sound of a distant engine, but it grew louder, and strange shapes appeared above the clouds. Towering ships, unlike anything humans had ever seen, moved silently through the atmosphere, their surfaces shining like polished metal, smooth and endless. People stopped and stared, their eyes wide with fear and wonder. Cars screeched to a halt, and phone cameras clicked as citizens tried to capture what they saw. News reports began to flash on every screen. Unidentified objects entering Earth's orbit. Anchors said with trembling voices. Scientists scrambled to their labs, trying to understand the strange readings on their instruments. But nothing in human history had prepared them for this moment. In the command center, General Carter stood frozen, staring at the radar screens. The blips multiplied, forming strange patterns that made no sense. "We need to establish contact," he said, his voice steady but low. "But what if they are hostile?" asked Lieutenant Davis, his hands shaking slightly. Outside, the alien ships hovered silently, casting massive shadows over the city. The sunlight reflected off their surfaces in blinding patterns, making them look almost alive. Children ran to their parents, pointing at the sky with curiosity mixed with fear. Dogs barked and whined. Sensing the tension in the air, birds scattered, disappearing into the distance, and the hum grew louder, vibrating through every building and street. People felt a strange pressure in their chests, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Then, without warning, a beam of light shot down from one of the ships, scanning the ground in a slow, deliberate motion. People froze, unsure what would happen next. The light seemed harmless at first, just glowing softly on the streets and buildings, but everyone instinctively stepped back, sensing the power it held. Scientists watched the readings spike, showing energy levels far beyond anything known to humanity. From inside the largest ship, shadowy figures moved, observing the humans with sharp, calculating eyes. They spoke in a language that no one could understand, sounds low and metallic, yet full of purpose. Their leader, a tall figure with a shimmering armor-like body, tilted its head, seemingly dismissing the small humans below. "They are weak," it said to the others, its voice echoing in strange waves through the ship. "They will not resist." But as the ship began a more detailed scan of the Earth's surface, strange readings appeared. Sensors picked up energy and reactions that the aliens did not expect. Confusion rippled through their ranks, and for the first time, doubt entered their minds. The humans below continued their daily lives, unaware of the alien scrutiny, going to work, talking, laughing, and moving through their routines, completely ordinary, yet strangely resilient. General Carter's voice came over the loudspeakers, trying to calm the crowd. "Stay inside. Do not panic. Authorities are assessing the situation." But even as he spoke, he could feel the tension rising. The world had changed in a single moment, and no one knew what tomorrow would bring. The aliens had come expecting an easy conquest, dismissing humans as weak. Yet something in the atmosphere, something in the very air of Earth, was about to surprise them. The sun continued to rise, casting long shadows of the ships across the city. The hum in the sky pulsed like a heartbeat, and the humans looked up with fear and awe, waiting, unsure if this day would be their end or the start of something far greater. The sky over New Haven was still filled with the massive alien ships, hovering silently like dark clouds frozen in the air. People moved cautiously, their eyes never leaving the strange visitors above. Scientists and military experts had set up monitors and instruments all over the city, trying to understand the energy readings coming from the ships. Something about the atmosphere seemed to catch the aliens' attention, though no one knew what it was yet. Inside the largest ship, the leader of the aliens studied the Earth below with sharp, glowing eyes. Its hands moved over strange controls, activating a massive scan that spread across the planet in waves of shimmering light. The scan reached deep into the atmosphere, measuring gases, energy flows, and the tiniest particles of air. On the ground, scientists saw the readings spike, some instruments even shaking from the energy being detected. This is impossible, whispered Dr. Emerson, the head scientist, staring at the monitor in disbelief. The energy levels, they are higher than predicted. The soldiers around him tightened their grips on their rifles, though they felt useless against the invisible power being measured. People in the city stared up at the ships, unaware that the very air they breathed was becoming the source of tension. The aliens murmured in their strange language, a low hum that seemed to vibrate through the ship. Their leader tilted its head, confused and annoyed. These readings, they do not match any known weak species, it said to its officers. Humans, they are not as simple as we assumed. Some of the smaller ships began to move in tight circles, scanning specific areas of cities and forests, trying to locate the source of the unusual energy. On Earth, small electrical devices began to flicker and spark, lights dimming and brightening as the alien scanned past overhead. Birds stopped singing, their wings frozen midair for a second, and then they scattered, sensing the strange vibrations. People felt an invisible pressure in their chests, as if the air itself had grown heavier, but no one could explain why. The atmosphere seemed ordinary, yet it carried a hidden strength that humans had never noticed. Dr. Emerson turned to the military officials, his voice trembling. This energy, it's like the planet itself is defending its people. The officers exchanged worried glances, realizing that humans were standing on a world far more powerful than anyone had imagined. Meanwhile, inside the alien ships, panic began to grow. A few of the officers whispered nervously. Perhaps we underestimated them, while others shook their heads, refusing to accept the possibility. The alien leader watched the readings rise even higher, its face expressionless but its thoughts racing. Weak species, this cannot be. Something in their air, something in their planet, is changing our assessment. It sent out smaller drones to take samples from the atmosphere, but the drones immediately began to falter, sensors overloaded, and energy shields flickering. Even the aliens' advanced technology struggled to handle what the Earth's air was hiding. On the ground, humans continued their routines, oblivious to the invisible forces at work. Children laughed as they played in parks, cars rolled down streets, and the wind carried the smell of flowers and rain. Yet this ordinary life was quietly demonstrating a hidden power, something the aliens could not ignore. Suspense hung in the air as the alien ships paused. Their scanning slowed, and the leader stared down at the humans. A new emotion forming: respect, curiosity, and fear. For the first time, the aliens realized that conquering this planet might not be simple, and their assumption that humans were weak was in serious doubt. The scan continued, but now it was not just an assessment. It was a revelation. Something about Earth, its atmosphere, and its people was far greater than anyone could have predicted. The alien ships moved lower, descending from orbit toward the city. Their enormous shadows stretched across streets, parks, and buildings, making people feel small and powerless. Sirens wailed as emergency alerts flashed on every screen, yet no one knew how to respond to a visitor unlike anything in human history. Inside the largest ship, the alien leader observed Earth's inhabitants carefully, its glowing eyes scanning, analyzing, trying to detect any sign of strength or weakness. They are different, it said in a low, metallic tone. Their energy, it is unusual. Officers nodded, but unease rippled through their ranks. None of them had expected the readings from the atmosphere to be so strong. On the ground, military forces prepared for confrontation. Tanks rolled into streets, helicopters circled overhead, and soldiers aimed weapons skyward. Yet the humans themselves felt strangely calm, as if something invisible was shielding them. The children continued to play in parks, people walked their dogs, and everyday life seemed to go on, despite the massive ships above. Suddenly, a beam of soft light shot down from the largest ship, scanning the city in a slow, deliberate motion. People froze, holding their breath, expecting destruction, but the light did not harm anyone. Instead, it moved gently, like it was probing, learning, testing. The aliens watched the humans' reactions closely, expecting panic, but found curiosity, fear mixed with bravery. The alien leader tilted its head, confused. They do not fear us as expected, it said. This is unexpected. It sent small drones closer, hovering just above rooftops, observing human movement, trying to understand how they could survive in an atmosphere that seemed to amplify their presence. The humans, unaware of the scan's full purpose, moved naturally, but every action, every breath, seemed to interact with the alien technology in ways no one could predict. In the city, Dr. Emerson and his team monitored the alien activity. Their technology, it reacts to us differently than we expected, he said, pointing to fluctuating readings on the monitors. It's like the atmosphere itself is protecting humans. Soldiers exchanged nervous glances, unsure if they should intervene or simply let the humans themselves show their strength. Suddenly, one of the drones faltered, its systems overloaded by the strange energy in the air. It spun out of control, crashing into a street below, unharmed, but sending sparks and smoke into the air. People gasped, realizing for the first time that the humans were not as powerless as they had thought. The alien leader frowned, issuing commands, but even their advanced systems struggled against Earth's hidden forces. A brave volunteer ran into the open street, waving at the alien drones without fear. The drones paused, confused, unable to anticipate this reaction. It was a small moment, but it shocked the alien observers. They are resilient, the leader whispered. Perhaps stronger than expected. Suspense hung in the air as the leader decided to test humans further, sending a more advanced drone toward the city center. The humans did not flee. Instead, they moved carefully, following instinct and guidance, as if the atmosphere itself gave them confidence. The drone scanned them, but readings spiked uncontrollably, sensors malfunctioning, alarms sounding inside the alien ship. Even the alien officers began to murmur nervously, some refusing to accept what they saw. They cannot be strong, can they? One whispered. From the streets below, humans looked up at the massive ships with a mixture of fear, awe, and courage. They did not understand why the aliens hesitated, but their ordinary presence, the way they breathed, moved, and lived, was now becoming a powerful force. Suspense grew, as the aliens realized that conquering Earth might not be simple, and humans were quietly showing a hidden power that could not be ignored. The sky remained filled with enormous ships, but now tension replaced fear. Both sides watched each other, waiting, testing, unsure of what would happen next. The first contact had begun, but the story was far from over, and Earth's true power was only starting to reveal itself. The alien ships hovered silently above the city, their massive forms reflecting the sunlight, casting long shadows across the streets and buildings. Inside the largest ship, the alien leader's glowing eyes studied humans. With increasing confusion, their strength, it is not physical alone, it whispered. Something, in their planet, gives them power. Its officers looked uneasy, trying to understand how ordinary humans could resist even their advanced technology. On the streets below, humans continued their routines, unaware of the full impact of their presence. Children laughed in parks, workers carried on with their tasks, and citizens moved through the city as if nothing extraordinary was happening. But small signs of the hidden power began to appear. Objects that should have been damaged by alien scans remained untouched, and electronic devices flickered strangely in response to the ships above. Dr. Emerson watched the monitors with wide eyes. The atmosphere, it interacts with humans in ways we never imagined, he said, pointing at spikes in the readings. It amplifies their resilience, their intelligence, even their courage. Soldiers and police officers nearby nodded, realizing that humans were quietly showing strength without even knowing it. The alien leader sent smaller drones to test humans further, expecting to provoke fear. Yet the humans did not panic. They moved naturally, almost instinctively, as if guided by the very air of their planet. Each scan revealed more anomalies, energy pulses that the aliens could not understand. The atmosphere itself seemed to defend humans, creating an invisible shield of power and resilience. In the city, a young man lifted a heavy piece of debris that had fallen from a building, his muscles straining, yet he managed it easily. The aliens observed this and murmured among themselves, How can they do this? A woman guided an injured child safely out of the street, and the scan showed calm energy radiating from them both. The aliens had expected chaos, panic, and weakness, but they found the opposite. Even the environment seemed to respond to humans, winds shifting to clear paths, rain slowing to allow movement, and birds flying in perfect formation above, as if the planet itself was supporting its people. Dr. Emerson could hardly believe his eyes. "It's not just humans," he said quietly. "It's the Earth helping them. The air, the planet, everything is connected." Inside the alien ship, officers argued quietly, some insisting that humans were still weak, others unsure if they had miscalculated. The leader's voice was low but firm. "We assumed we could control them easily. We were wrong." Confusion and fear rippled through the ranks, for no species they had encountered before could withstand even a fraction of their scanning and testing. Yet humans seemed almost untouchable. As the sun climbed higher, the alien leader made a decision. "Continue testing, but proceed with caution. This species, this planet, holds a power we must understand before acting." On Earth, citizens remained unaware of the true tension above, living, breathing, moving. Yet every action, every ordinary step, was quietly revealing strength the aliens could not match. The suspense grew with every passing minute. Humans seemed simple, fragile, and ordinary, but their connection to their world, their resilience, and the hidden energy in the atmosphere made them extraordinary. Even the alien drones that approached too closely began to malfunction, unable to cope with the invisible force surrounding humans. Dr. Emerson and his team watched the chaos of readings, their hearts pounding. Realizing this was a moment no human had ever witnessed before. Something ancient, powerful, and hidden had awoken within the Earth, and the aliens were only just beginning to see it. The stage was set for confrontation, but it was clear now. Humans were no ordinary species, and the planet itself was their secret ally. The ships hovered silently, observing, calculating, and wondering. Humans walked below, ordinary and unaware, yet stronger than anyone, even the aliens, could have imagined. Suspense filled the air, and the world waited for the next moment when the hidden power of humanity would show itself in full. The sun was high in the sky, and the alien ships hovered over the city like dark, watchful giants. Their massive shadows covered streets and parks, making humans below feel small, yet strangely unafraid. Inside the largest ship, the alien leader's glowing eyes scanned the humans, frustration growing. They continued to resist, without fighting. It said, "How is this possible?" Officers whispered nervously, some unable to accept what they saw, others quietly afraid. On the streets, the first signs of Earth's hidden power became more obvious. Cars that should have been disabled by alien scans remained functional, streetlights flickered, but never failed completely, and ordinary people moved with surprising speed and strength. Dr. Emerson watched the monitors, his eyes wide. "They are adapting, responding. The atmosphere itself is guiding them," he said, almost in disbelief. Suddenly, one of the alien drones fired a beam toward a group of humans, expecting panic. Yet the humans barely moved, and the beam weakened as it passed through the air around them. As if the very air absorbed and deflected the alien energy, the crowd gasped in shock, realizing that the invaders' power was not absolute. A young woman in the park lifted a fallen tree branch and used it to protect a child from the drone's light. The alien sensors registered unusual energy spikes, their systems struggling to keep up. "They are resisting, without weapons," muttered one officer. "This is impossible." Another human helped an elderly man across the street, moving with unexpected speed, and the alien readings went even higher, showing the humans' hidden strength in the atmosphere. The alien leader realized that direct attacks were failing and ordered the ships to adjust strategy. "We cannot underestimate them any longer," it said, its voice tight with tension. "Prepare the containment drones, but proceed carefully." On Earth, the humans continued moving naturally, breathing the air, surviving, thriving, unaware that every action revealed more of their hidden power. Then, the turning point came. A strong wind, rising from the city's edges, carried fallen debris away from people, shielding them from the alien beams. Even the smallest plants seemed to bend and twist, creating cover, as if the Earth itself was protecting its children. Dr. Emerson pointed at the monitors. "It's the atmosphere. It's alive in a way we never imagined." The aliens were no longer certain of victory. Their ships slowed, scanning systems overworked, drones malfunctioning. Officers whispered in panic. They are stronger than we thought. Maybe we cannot win here. The leader's glowing eyes narrowed, its plans unraveling as humans continued to survive and adapt without even realizing the full extent of their strength. A small group of humans, led by a volunteer, approached one of the fallen drones, lifting its heavy frame together. While the aliens observed, no action could stop them. Each movement of the humans created energy spikes in the atmosphere, further overwhelming the alien systems. Soldiers and scientists on the ground watched in awe, knowing that this was a turning point. The hidden power of Earth and humanity had revealed itself in small, undeniable ways. The alien leader finally spoke, its voice low and measured. They are extraordinary. Perhaps we miscalculated. Confusion, fear, and respect rippled through the ship, as no species before had resisted so quietly, so effectively. Humans had not attacked, yet they had won small victories by simply existing, moving, and breathing on their planet. The city below remained alive with ordinary life, laughter, and noise, yet every action carried invisible strength. Humans had survived the first test, and the aliens realized that controlling this world would not be easy. Suspense hung in the air like thick fog, and the next move of humanity, or the aliens, would decide the balance. The hidden power of Earth was no longer a secret, and the turning point had arrived. The alien ships hovered silently over the city, their massive forms reflecting the sunlight like cold, polished mirrors. Below, humans continued their ordinary routines, unaware of the full drama playing above them. Yet the aliens had finally begun to understand. Every movement, every breath, every heartbeat of the people below carried a power they could not match. Inside the largest ship, the alien leader stood still, its glowing eyes fixed on the humans. "We misjudged them," it said in a low, metallic voice. "We assumed weakness. We assumed fear. We were wrong." Officers whispered among themselves, shock and awe in their tones. Some refused to believe it. Others could not hide their fear. The humans below were not just surviving. They were thriving, protected and strengthened by their planet itself. On the streets, humans continued their lives, yet the small acts of courage, kindness, and instinctive resilience revealed their hidden strength. A woman guided a lost child through the crowd, her movements calm and precise. A man lifted heavy debris to clear a path for others, and even the wind and the subtle energy in the air seemed to help them. Dr. Emerson watched the monitors, his hands trembling. "They didn't fight, but they showed power like nothing I've ever seen," he whispered. The aliens sent their drones closer, hoping to test humans one last time. Yet the drones faltered, systems overloaded, unable to function properly in the atmosphere. The leader tilted its head, eyes narrowing, and finally spoke. "They are not weak. This world itself empowers them." It was the first time any alien species had admitted to being outmatched by something invisible and silent. Then, the turning point became clear. The alien leader issued a signal, and slowly, the ships began to retreat. Hovering for a few moments longer, it observed humans one last time, curiosity and respect replacing arrogance. "Perhaps, this species deserves recognition," it said quietly. "We will withdraw, but we will watch." On Earth, the people below did not see the retreating ships, but they felt a subtle shift in the air, an unexplainable calm, as if the planet itself was satisfied. Dr. Emerson turned to the soldiers and scientists. "They respect us, or at least, they understand we cannot be conquered easily." He smiled, a mixture of relief and awe on his face. The humans had not used weapons, they had not led an army, yet their resilience, courage, and connection to their world had proven more powerful than anything the aliens had expected. In the days that followed, the city slowly returned to normal. People went about their routines, yet whispers of the strange visitors spread everywhere. Stories of the hovering ships, the strange scans, and the hidden strength of humans grew in every conversation. Children looked up at the sky, imagining what might return, while adults felt a quiet pride they could not fully explain. The aliens had come expecting to dominate, to assess humans as weak. Yet Earth had taught them a lesson that power does not always come from weapons or technology, but from the hidden strength of life itself, from courage, resilience, and the bond between a species and its home. And high above, the ships disappeared into the sky, leaving only shadows and whispers. Humans remained, ordinary and extraordinary at the same time, standing on a planet that had quietly revealed its hidden power. Waiting for whatever challenges might come next, suspense lingered, curiosity remained, and the story of humanity's hidden power became legend.